All right, to continue on in our standing mode, put your palms down, in other words facing back, and just raise your arms up so they're completely parallel with the floor. We want to do these, you can do these fairly rapidly, just don't be swinging. Your body is stationary, and you can start with about 4 of those. Flip your palms up, continue on. Really do whatever is comfortable for you. This one can be an antagonist to the shoulders. So don't hurt your shoulders or don't irritate things. If all you can do is get one up and down and another one the other way, fine. Just work with what you can do and then build up as you go. Next, to take that to a higher level, literally, keep the palms back like we started. Bring your hands up, but not straight up. We're going to have them meet. So you're going to create a semi-little arch up there and touch at the top. Again, 4-ish or so. You can build up to 8 and then 10 and 12. Palms up and do it again. You can stop in between your sets or just continue to roll straight through. All right, now grab your weights, and I wanted to mention something about weights. I had told you in earlier segments that a 16-ounce can, which usually contains junk, is good, except it can be hard to hold, particularly if you struggle with arthritis in the thumb or anywhere in your hands. If you have any kind of hand or joint pain in the wrist. A 10.75 can, I don't eat this stuff, just happened to be in our linen closet or our pantry. Somebody else in our house eats it. I won't name names. But anyway, this is easier to hold, and it's a little lighter, so you can start with the smaller cans. As a matter of fact, I know that they have those little tiny tomato paste cans that are quite small and narrow. Very comfortable. You can use those as well for starting out and then graduate up if you don't want to buy weights. Another thing you can do is just hold a pair of socks. I didn't bring one out with me, I wish I had, but you know how you just roll a pair of socks up? Get 2 pairs of rolled socks and use those instead of weights. They're very light and comfortable. They won't give you much resistance, but they will give you the grip. If your grip is tender and delicate and you can't hold much, you'll at least be able to hold those, and it's much more comfortable than keeping your hands simply empty and closed, because what you tend to do that way is tighten up, and that's not what we want. So just a couple of pairs of socks, 1 in each hand, and you can work with those. These are my 1-pound weights. I like these the most, and this is what I'm going to use this for. You want to bring it up regular speed and drop it down very slow. Bring it up regular speed, drop it down very slow. Again, 4 to 8 to 10 to 12 of those. Turn it over and opposite side. Bring it up and drop it down very slow. The reason for the slowness is anything you do slower will either build a bigger muscle, a stronger muscle, or if you'll burn a calorie way faster. You literally burn more fat quicker with slower workout, like we're doing here. Like all of these parts put together would equal if we were doing this in a classroom setting all straight through. Your aerobics, you know, your running and your racquetball and all the tennis and the physical things that you do, playing sports and such, great for the body. It's great for everything. You sweat more, and it's of course obviously very aerobic. It's for the heart. But you actually won't burn as much fat when you're really moving out there, moving it out, and moving quickly, as you will in the set that we're doing here. So that's one advantage that we have. All right, now you can do that also off to the sides. Bring it up at a normal speed, and then slowly down. Have your feet spread apart if that's more comfortable for you. I'm just going to do 2 of each, but you do as many as you want. Turn the hands over. And up. I think the most difficult part for me now on this is impatience, because I don't like to do things that slow. So it's good for self-control as well. Okay, let's see. Next we want to, hands on hips. And this is actually a very old exercise. It's been being pulled back now, kind of going back to the future here a little bit. Instead of seeing this long lunge, which you usually do, we're literally going to kind of do the I'm a little teapot thing and just bend over as far as you can. It makes for a very nice stretch without overdoing it. Feet out if you need to. Stretch as far as you can. Really push up on the shoulder. Just literally push your shoulder up so you get a big release here. And repeat on the other side. Now as far as those longer stretches, instead of, this back and forth, all I think is necessary when we're doing this type of motion is to do one or two of those and do it really well. Again, this is not for the purpose of aerobics. This is for the purpose of releasing all of the tense and tightness that you have, the old rusty, crusty joint areas and so forth, to get things moving, to press into the pain a little bit, go past your pain level just a little bit, safely, so that you can do more and more and more, eventually and over time. All right, so what I'd like to see with this is when you're going to lunge to your left or your right, you really want to be sure your leg is far out. In other words, you don't want your knee going over past your toe. If it stops right about on top of the toe, that's fine. You can hurt the knees if they lunge out too far. So the farther out your foot is, the better chance you have of keeping your knee where it's supposed to be. Then reach your arm up and do one of these, like so. Whenever you give it that last little exhale, you always buy yourself a few more inches of stretch. This is wonderful for this area. Repeat several times to your comfort level. And if you get to the point where you're up to about 10 or 12 of those, then stop at about 8, rest for just a moment, and do another set of 8. So start doing new sets instead of just one big fat long one. Other side. Get a nice long stretch. You can feel it. It's quite simple on this one, what you're working. And push up as you exhale. Push up. One more alternative or take on that is simply straight up the body. Same thing. With the exhale, using a good stretch in here, and then just bring it back in and down. Or you can roll up the body like so, like we just did, and come back out. That's my personal favorite. Go straight up, give it a good stretch, and come back down all the way out. Now take a moment just to rub your back, and remember when we did that cat arch on the floor, that can be done standing up. So just take your hands and on your knees here, bend your knees and have them separate a little bit. Arch. You can actually lunge a little bit over to one side while you're pushing up the back. Push it up. I do this a lot during the day, even if I'm at Walmart. I've had people come and ask me, "Are you okay, ma'am?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll be fine when I'm done here." Because shopping can be really, that's a lot of back work when you walk that much. Okay, and then put your buttock up, your rump up, and sag down. So you're doing a little cat arch right here, using your knees as the support. Arch up. And that gives a really nice release. Inhale. Very good. Okay, I do want to show you one more. We're going to kind of come over here to the step stool. Now, I'm not sure how you want to set yours up. I actually generally don't do it on this step stool, but for filming purposes, it'll show you better what I'm doing than the way I usually do it here in my house. But what I would suggest you do is find something that does have a step. maybe literally a pair, stairs, I had to create my own little stairs here. Come on up to the first step and have a wall in front of you. It's something, the reason you need that step is because the leg you're going to be moving has to be down slightly lower than the other foot. And you just can't get that if you're on the same level. You just can't get that like this. You're going to find yourself trying to go on your tiptoes and it's going to throw you off. So just step up on your step and leg out and in. You want to get up to about 10 of these. Take a rest and 10 more. 2 sets of 10 is fine. You can do them quickly. However, I remember when I started, I did not do a lot of these. I really had to work, or just really stop and rub this out. Maybe do something else that was handwork so I could give my hips a break. Then switch sides. Out, in, and so forth. Keep your posture straight and let the wall help you. All right, we'll be back for another set momentarily.